This is Barbie with Jeannie's Designs. We're making the Arsia Crossbody bag by Car Threads. Look at this little guy, all purple. I go over what I'm using so you'll be able to see that, but there are tons of pockets in this. I used 1.5 inch webbing for this one. Vinyl on here. This is waterproof canvas, and then waterproof canvas on the inside. Look at all the pockets in there. You're gonna love it. I am gonna call this the Purple Passion bag. So go grab the pattern, the Arsia Crossbody bag by Car Threads, K-A-U-R, Car Threads, and let's get started. Hi everyone, this is Barbie with Jeannie's Designs, and I'm getting ready to do the Arsia. Find the pattern here. It's the Arsia Crossbody bag by Car Threads. This is a great, if you haven't ever tried this, you should. Here's one that I have. This one's available. And on this one, I did waterproof canvas and vinyl. There's a nice big zipper pocket here. On the back, there's a slip pocket with a magnetic snap. There's a zipper closure. And on the inside, there's a zipper pocket with a slip pocket, and I think it's 8 credit card slots. And then on this side, there's another zipper pocket and 2 slip pockets. And she gives you the option for a double-sided strap, which this one has. On this one that I'm making today, I'm doing 1.5 inch webbing. So I'm not doing the double, but I mean, it's a great bag. This is such a nice size. It's not big, it's not small. It's really what I call a schmedium, between a small and a medium. So the Arsia Crossbody bag by Car Threads. So let's get started. So there are a lot of pieces to this bag, and it's primarily because she gives you a piece for each stabilizer as well. All her stabilizer pieces have an S before them. I love the way she does her patterns. If you haven't done a Car Threads pattern, you won't be disappointed. So I'm doing, I know it's shocking, I'm doing purple ostrich. I think this is ostrich from Simply Classic. It's gorgeous. And then for the gussets, I'm doing this. It's good, thick, waterproof canvas from Sew Yours. Those are for the gussets. And then in the lining, I'm doing more purple, Indo Love Creations waterproof canvas. I can't help it. I'm using my matte black hardware. And then here's my crossbody strap. I will go over each piece as I sew it because it's not really confusing. It's just that there are a lot of pieces. If you take it one piece at a time, it's not hard. So let's get started. You're gonna love this bag. Love it. All right, let's go. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is my strap and my D-ring connectors. For my D-ring connectors, I'm using 3/4 inch. Because it's a small bag, you don't want, and these 1.5 inch fit on there perfectly. So here is my D-ring connectors. There's 2 of them in one piece. She does have you add a stabilizer piece, which I did. And once I get this sewn, I will cut them in half. And I am using purple variegated thread. All right. All right, so each section, she tells you what pieces you need. So for this section, we need our front panel exterior, we need our zipper overlay, and we need our front pocket lining, and a zipper and rivets if you want them. Then she tells you to draw a box. I just marked where the opening of my zipper overlay should go. And I just marked the center of my overlay. Now I did a little different overlay because I'm gonna put my tag right here after I get all this done. After I get this on, actually. So that's where it should go. Whoops, is where the box should be. So it ends up being, oh, I shouldn't tell you that measurement, but you'll figure out what it is. So I'm gonna put this on right there, centered. So my overlay is a little bit bigger than hers, and that's okay. And now I'm just gonna wipe off my markings, because that leather marking, if you don't get it off, it leaves a shadow. So you can hardly even see it. Isn't it great? I love it. Okay, let's stitch around the outside, and I'm gonna pull those threads to the back. This is a Sew Yours overlay, and she has templates for them. So just FYI, I love this overlay. Pull those threads to the back and tie it off. It doesn't want to come up, but it will. Let me get this one out of the way. There we go. All right, let me get it right. Now let's just cut out our center here. I'm going to use my seam ripper to start it. Those seam rippers are sharp, 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 sharp. All right, so I just marked right where my center is. That's the center mark, and then where my washer is for my tag. And I'm just going to put that on before I do my zipper, so I don't have to worry about it getting in the way. You know, I often get questions about where I get my tags, and I get them from Alibaba, And if anybody wants to know, I'm happy to share my source because he does a great job. His name's Bruce. I am going to cover that with a little piece of fleece so it doesn't rub on my zipper lining. That's all it needs, just a little piece of that fusible fleece remnant. Perfect. All right, let's do our zipper. All right, so take 2 piece H, and I made mine a little longer because my overlay is a little wider. So just FYI. And I'm gonna leave my zipper pull off until I get this on. I'm just basting it right sides up. And then I'm going to turn that and top stitch it so it's nice and flat. And I will go iron this because it's already getting wavy. It'll be fine. And I'm going to repeat that on the other side, just matching up my sides. I thought I ran out of bobbin, but I didn't. Okay, and I'm going to turn that and top stitch it flat as well. This purple zipper tape is from my website. I love it. Purple with matte black zipper teeth. I love it. All right, I'm going to go iron that. Or you can see how nice and flat it is now after I ironed it and I put my zipper pull on. And now we're going to add some double-sided tape and add it to our outside pocket. These zipper pulls are also from my website. Oops. Didn't need it that long. Aren't they pretty? They're really pretty. All right, let's add our pocket. Just want to get it nice and even. Okay, and we're gonna, your zipper lining is laid straight out. You know what? Let me check my bobbin. Hold on. Yeah, I've got enough for this. You're doing top stitching, so double check your amount of bobbin if you think you're low. And I will pull these threads to the back as well. Oh my gosh, that's perfect. All right, now we're going to even this up a little bit. And close it off. Okay, turn it right side up, pull it over, and we're gonna stitch down all 3 sides. Not that fast. And then I'll trim my zippers and burn my zipper ends. All right, there you have a nice large pocket. It's a beautiful thing. All right, so that is done. Next step. All right, so we are going to add our magnetic snap. So for this section, you need piece C, which is your back top with your interfacing on it. You need piece D, which is your back bottom with the interfacing on it, and your piece I, which is the back pocket lining and then a magnetic snap. Now this lining has no interfacing, so on the pattern piece for I, she tells you exactly where it goes, and we're putting the male portion here. I am going to add some Luxe Fuse there because there's absolutely no interfacing, and I'm using my magnetic rivet snaps, so just like that. Okay, I'm going to go press that. So take where we put our magnetic snap, and you can see my rivet, and that's okay. And then take your bottom piece, D, right side up, and your lining piece right side down with the magnetic snap on the top. And we're going to sew that together at the seam allowance in the pattern. It's a very unique way how she does this. I love it. Then we're going to turn that and top stitch. So turn that wrong sides together and top stitch. Okay. Let me check my bobbin. Hold. Oh my gosh, you guys. I wouldn't have had enough bobbin. Look at that. Just a tiny little piece. Let me get my next bobbin. It's all ready to go. Top stitching, always check your bobbin. It's just not worth it. top stitch. Beautiful. Next step. So take your panel that we just created. Here's the back, bottom, and our liner. Lay it in front of you with the magnetic snap towards you. So this is the lining piece. This is the piece D. Take piece C, and we're going to attach that centered on the bottom of our lining. And we're going to stitch that together at the seam allowance in the pattern. Okay, just like that. I know it feels weird. It works. And this isn't going to get in the way, but you can move it if it helps. Then we're going to turn that and top stitch it with the seam going towards our lining piece. I keep losing track of my threads. There we go. So you're top stitching on the lining piece. Awesome. All right, let me get my other piece of my magnetics. So the next step is, here's your piece. From this back top piece, measure down a certain distance from it in the pattern. And then we're gonna bring this up and clip it in place. She's just a smarty. Now, we do want to figure out where, that's not gonna work. And I sometimes just use a Sharpie where the other part of our snap is gonna go. Yep, that's all it needed. This is gonna be covered, so it's right there. I can see it. Perfect. It didn't really snap, so I couldn't hear it. Now I am gonna put just a couple layers. This other one I had 4 layers. This already has some interfacing, so I'm just gonna do 2 layers if I can get it to go in. Okay. Let me grab my other part of my snap, and this is going to be the female portion. So we'll add our snap, some interfacing, and before I press it, I'm just going to test it. Perfect. All right, I'll go press that. So now I have that pressed. Snap it, clip it all together, and make sure it's even on both sides. And I'm just going to measure to make sure. It's not quite even, so I'm going to bring that up just a little. Perfect. And then we're going to just baste on down the sides to keep it all in place. I'm actually going to do it from the back so I can make sure I can see it. Perfect. So there you have your snap, your huge pocket. Let me clean that up a little bit and we'll go to the next step. So the next step is to do your lining gusset, or your gussets actually. So this is my exterior gusset. It's that really heavy waterproof canvas. I did put some Luxe Fuse on both pieces, and then here's my lining gusset. And so I'm going to sew those together at the bottom with the seam allowance in the pattern. It's not even. There we go. And then we'll turn that and top stitch with the seam splayed open. I have a lollipop in case I get hungry. I know, I can't help it. So I'll just top stitch on either side. And then I am on this one going to find my centers on the top because we're going to add our D-rings. Our D-ring connectors. And I think, yeah. She wants you to measure up a certain distance and mark a line because that's where it's going to be connected. Okay. Beautiful. And so these are where you drew that line is where you're going to attach it. And I'm just going to baste it in place. Mine happens to be pretty thick. That ostrich vinyl or whatever it is, it's pretty thick. So we'll do that on both sides. Just finding my center. All right, so that's what you should have. Perfect. Set that aside, and then we're gonna do our lining piece exact the same way, except we're not gonna attach any D-rings. Sorry, we read the pattern. We're still going to fold that over and top stitch the seam nice and flat. And I'm going to iron this, so let me go do that. Okay, so for this section, take your lining piece. I think it's, let me just get the pieces for you again. Your lining panel A, which is this one. Your interior zipper pocket lining J, which is this one. And then you'll need your interior slip pocket K, your slip pocket trim, your zipper, your interior pocket zipper, and a rivet, if you want to do rivet. And then on this piece J, measure up from the bottom or whatever, and mark your box. We're going to place it the distance up from the bottom of piece A, and I'm using my Sew Tight magnets, so I don't have to worry about them, my pieces slipping. I love them. Now I'm going to sew all the way around the box. But you do you. She says just do the sides, the long sides. I just sew them all the way. And then these are so strong. I'm going to take this one off because it's getting in my way. Yeah, my stitches are skipping, so hold on. I don't want any skipped. There we go. I probably need to clean up my needle. Okay, it's skipped down here, so I'm gonna fix that, and I'll be right back. Yeah, I'll just do it with you. You gotta come up. Sometimes on corners, you just need to come up so it won't skip that stitch. And on this kind of thing, it's on the inside, so it's not back critical, but I don't want it showing that it skipped a stitch. These Sew Tight magnets are worth every penny. They weren't very expensive anyway. So now we're gonna cut that open. I will turn around and press it open, and on your corners just go to the corner without cutting your stitches. This eggplant lining is pretty dark. Okay. So let's pull that to the back. And I'll go press it. All right, so I cut that and turned it and pressed it. It looks really good. So one thing that Sandip does on her patterns is, you can't see this, but in her pattern, she tells you to mark a line on either side of that hole. And then when you put your zipper, and this is on the wrong side, when you put your zipper tape on, and I just want to make sure I'm going to get it on there correctly. Going to the right, yeah. you put it right at that line. Oh my gosh. I always forget that she does this. It is such a helpful tool. I mean, it's amazing. And so I'll show you here in a second. So I just put double-sided tape on my zipper. If I can get my paper off. It's coming. And then your tape is on those lines. And it should be in there perfectly. Look at that. It's perfect. And now we're going to stitch around the box. With your lining pieces are splayed open. And I'm just going to back stitch this. So come up a little bit on your corner so you don't skip a stitch. Come in one more little stitch there. Okay. It's perfect every time. It's a great little tool, and I think she has it in several of her patterns. And then we're going to bring the top lining piece down, which fits perfectly. And we're going to stitch, I think we're going to stitch all the way around, but let me double check that. Okay, nope, we're going to leave the bottom open. So let's sew down both sides. And I am going to just fold it up. And then I'll turn it when I get both sides done. You'll see. I know you guys, many of you do this all the time, so. Hold, please. All right, fold those up. And now we will fold, so there's your zipper pocket on the back, leaving the bottom open, but because we folded those seams up like 3/8 of an inch or so, it creates a nice fold there, so when we go to finish this pocket, it'll be nice and even, so just like that. All right. Now I'm going to cut off my extra zipper tape on both sides. I don't have too much really. And burn those ends. Okay. Next step. Okay, now, so we finished this interior zipper pocket. Now we're going to do our slip pocket. Take the longer edge of your slip pocket and fold it wrong sides together. And we're going to sew around all 4 sides. Just 1/8 of an inch. Need to increase my stiffness. Okay, I'm gonna go press this real quick, hold on. So now take the raw edge and your trim piece, and we're gonna lay that just shy of the center line that we drew. And we're gonna fold that over and top stitch. This isn't gonna wanna stick. This ostrich is pretty thick. It's okay. Now take care of that. Sometimes 1/8 inch tape isn't strong enough. Pardon me. Let's top stitch. Perfect. Now take your lining piece that we just did the pocket, get your zipper. We'll get the zipper out of the way here in a second, but we're gonna lay this on the bottom of that piece, clip it in place. And just make sure it's nice and straight. And we're gonna stitch all the way around it. And I do it from the back because I don't want that getting in my way. It shouldn't, but because it does. And then you're gonna go with your curves on piece A. Something got caught in my throat. Perfect. And you can trim off your corner if you need to match your piece A. Okay. Now I am going to divide this down the middle. So I'm just going to grab my and I'm going to divide it down the middle. I'll just use a dry erasing pen or an air erasing pen. And you can leave it open you want. It's an awful big zipper slip pocket. This is when you want to make sure that your zipper pocket is up and out of the way. Otherwise you're going to sew through your zipper pocket and you'll be very disturbed if you do that. And then I'm just going to come right back down. And then this is optional to put a rivet right here. I'm going to do it mainly because I'm using pretty lightweight lining Oops, and I want to make sure that the continuous use doesn't really get in my way. So lift your zipper pocket lining out of the way again, and make sure when you put your ribbon on, you're not going through any stitching. And I will, excuse me, also put a little piece of Decavite or Lux Fuse or something, just to give it a little more stability. And then I'm going to press that. So that's what you should have. Cute. Next step. So the next step is the card slots. And on the back, mark your top and then measure down a certain distance on the horizontal line. And then measure down the next one, the next one, the next one. And below those lines, you're going to add your pieces of interfacing. And then on each side, she has you mark down a long marking, and that's just to keep your interfacing out of the seam allowances. And then on each of those, you're going to fold those just like that. It's perfect, I'm telling you. And then from the top, measure down what she tells you in the pattern, the first line, and we're going to bring that first fold up to that line. And I just marked it on the sides that's going to be hidden. And then this next fold, we're going to bring the same distance, what she tells you to in the pattern, just to make sure it's nice and even. And the same here. I'm just doing this to make sure everything works out right, and then I'm going to stitch across my card slots. So that's what you should have, and boy, is that perfect. So make sure this is the correct distance. I made mine too long. I know I did. Yeah, well, not really too bad. I'll trim off just a tiny, tiny bit. All right, I'm going to stitch across each of these card slots, and then I'll refold them. So it's just a top stitch on each card slot. All right, now we're going to refold, make it nice and even. Oh, here's all my clips. All right, let's just test to make sure they're nice and even. Oh my goodness. Perfection. Okay. Now I'm going to go and trim this. This piece should be a certain height, so I have just a tiny bit to trim off. So do that. I didn't have to trim any. So now I am going to just baste my sides together. on both sides. And then we are going to measure over what she tells you to in the pattern. And I'm going to mark this with my air erasing pen. And we're going to sew 2 lines down that. So you saw me backstitch over my card slots. So let's just test our card slots to make sure they fit. Absolute perfection. The way she does it is just so easy, really. Okay, next step. So take your coin pocket piece, and on the long edge, one is longer than the other, put your zipper pocket hole right there. And we're gonna measure down from the top just like she tells you, and we're gonna stitch around that like she tells you to in the pattern, just creating another zipper pocket. See how helpful these sew tights are? Oh, I just love them. And then we're going to cut that open just like we did the other one. And do your little angles. Don't cut through your zipper tape. I mean your zipper stitches that you just did. And then we're going to pull these lining pieces to the back, and I'm going to go iron that. So just like that. All right, so make your zipper. I made mine too big, which is fine. And then exactly like we did the other one, mark on the wrong side, inside here, a distance from your hole. And then we're gonna put our zipper going to the left. Right on that line. I'm just gonna make sure, yeah. Right on those lines. Sand dip. How did you ever figure this out? It's just perfect in every way. Just trying to get my zipper pulled. Now you could, I'm using number 5 zipper tape. Just for consistency. Because it's all the same color too. And look at that. Now we're going to stitch around that box with your zipper pocket splayed open. Now this is a coin pocket. It's a very tiny little pocket, but it's kind of nice, really. Just coming up a little bit. Don't bring your needle all the way out, just up as high as you can get it without bringing it out. You'll be surprised how much of a difference that makes on these corners. Okay. Perfect. Now I am going to trim off, I have some extra zipper tape here. So I'm going to trim that without trimming my pocket. You don't want your zipper tape in your seam here on the corners. It just makes it too thick. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so cute. Look at that. Isn't that cute? It's adorable. All right, next step. So now we're going to close off our zipper pocket. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it exactly like she tells you to. But for me, I'm going to start on one side about a ½ inch down. And then I'll finish it going the other way. It's just easier for me to go one way to close it up. If you're going towards the pocket, it's much easier. Okay, I'll show you. So now if I go towards that pocket, it's much easier to close it and not get anything else in the way. And get everything pulled out as well. And keep it nice and flat. The fabricator doesn't like this lightweight fabric without any interfacing, but he did it. Just trying to trim my threads. Okay. So now you have a completed zipper pocket there. Little coin pocket. That's all it is. It's not very big. Not intended to be big. All right, next step. So take your card slot piece with your coin pocket, and on that top piece, we're going to add our lining center back panel and sew that together at the seam allowance in the pattern. Fold that up, and at that seam is where we're gonna, it just wants to naturally fold up there. Oh my gosh, it's just, I mean, it's just perfect in every way, I'm telling you. So that seam that we just created, we're folding our card slot up and it wants to just naturally go there. So that's what you have on the back. And you just want to make sure that it's nice and even. Yeah, that's better. All right, so that's what you have. Isn't that cute? Oh my gosh. Now we are just going to stitch down these sides so that it stays where we want it. It's amazing to me. And let's do the other side. All right, so that's what you have. So you have 8 card slots, you have a coin pocket, and then now you have a little slip pocket there. It's just amazing to me. Next step. So you want to make sure that this piece measures the correct height. Mine does. Now we're going to add the bottom, center bottom panel, and we're going to stitch that together at the seam allowance in the pattern. This is on the bottom of the card slots piece. Okay. Now you're going to fold that down and top stitch on this piece. Let me just make sure. Yeah, hopefully. So with that bottom piece, the seam goes towards the card slots. It's not going to naturally want to do that. And you're going to top stitch 1/8 of an inch on the card slot, on the bottom of the card slot. A little counterintuitive. Now, take your 2-piece P, as in hope, and we're going to lay these 2 pieces should be mirrored, by the way, and we're going to lay them with the curvy edge on the bottom. Starting at the top. They're not going to be quite as long as this piece, and that's okay. Okay. So start at the top and do your seam allowance in the pattern. And then we're going to turn it and top stitch on this side piece with the seam allowance behind that. Now that feels more normal. I know. thinking I probably next time will use something a little heavier than this lightweight waterproof canvas. It's a little flimsy. I think it'll be fine. Once I get it all together, I'm going to undo my zipper. But it feels a little thin. Even though I did put interfacing on some of these pieces, like the card slots and then the backing piece. My first one I did water resistant canvas from Your Vinyl Source, which is a little thicker. Yeah, I think this will be fine, actually. So that's what you should have. Oh my goodness gracious alive. All right, so we're going to trim off this excess down here. Let me make sure I measure it correctly. All right, so we are going to put together our exterior with our gusset. And we're gonna sew that with the seam allowance in the pattern. I did clip my corners. I'm gonna increase my stitch length just to 4. Yeah, I did clip my corners. She even suggests to potentially use staples. I don't like using staples unless I have to. So I'm going to use my little Kelly's and see if I can do it without staples. I think I can. Oh, you guys, I ran out of bobbin and I way back here and I didn't even know it. Oh, that's just disturbing, Barb. Okay, now I have a full bobbin. I should be able to finish it. Did you hear that? Alright, let's give it another try, guys. That's too bad, Barb. What do I say? Check your bobbin. Do it. It's okay. Now, I am going to pull this to the top and clip it again. Otherwise, we'll be off a little. Perfect. No harm done. Just my feelings. Let's see how it looks. Oh my, that looks really good. Look at that, you guys. Oh, I know. I'm going to say it. It might be my new bag. I'm going to clip my zipper pocket up and out of the way. Okay, let's clip this in place. I did clip, and I'm going to show you what I did since I did the first one off camera. Mark your centers and clip your centers. And this is a little bit slippery, so I'm putting really probably an overabundance of clips on. A little slippery. Okay, let's do the other side. And I only use Wonder Clips for this. The hair clips just don't hold. All right, so let's clip the corners of our gusset by a little more than 1/8 of an inch, not much more. Half your seam allowance. No more than half your seam allowance. And then it really fits pretty good. Oh, that clip's broken. I was like, why isn't that holding? Looks like it's broken. I don't remember what I did last time, if I used staples or not. I don't mind using staples, and I probably should have, but I didn't, so we're just going to do it as I can. All right, let's sew it together. All right, so all I did was just use my pinking shears on my corners. You could trim the rest of it, but you make sure if you're going to trim the rest of it, you don't trim the top inch, inch and a half, because you want that to lay flat. All right, let's do the lining pieces the exact same way, except I'm going to leave a pretty good turning hole in one of my lining pieces. So I'll do this on fast forward. Okay, so I made it harder on myself. You should really put your zipper on before you put your lining gusset on. Not a big deal. But make the marks in the pattern as she suggests. Your zipper tape is right side up. And the marks, we're just going to baste it in place. At the mark sheet tells you the pattern. This is the lining. And we're going to start with the side that has the slip pocket. And then when we get to the mark on the other side, you're going to trail it off. So much easier to do before you put your gusset on. That's okay. Awesome. Not hard. I mean, if you forget like me, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. And then I'm going to zip my zipper tape up, and I'm going to repeat that on the other side. The zipper is right side up. We're going to start right there, clip it in place, and baste this other side. And my taper off mark is right there. Okay. So I'm going to just start on this end. So what you should have is your lining should look like that with your zipper right side up. Love it. Next step. Okay, so we turned the lining right side out, and I opened my zipper all the way. We're going to insert that into the outside piece so that they are right sides together. And I am not taking the extra step of doing double-sided tape here. I'm just going to clip them, because I'm going to go over to Thor when I'm ready and do these final 2 steps. That's why I got good old Thor to do all these last little steps. Match up your centers. Your zipper should be down. Inside. So this should be down inside. You don't want that getting caught. And just clip all the way around. And so far, it fits very well, really. Okay. Do your centers, and then clip the rest of it. fits actually perfectly. You know, I'm always surprised at that. Okay, let's just make sure. All right, let me go get Thor ready and we will top stitch this done. All right, let's do it. Hold your threads full. And I believe this is a pretty narrow seam, yeah. So this is a different seam allowance than what you've done throughout the pattern, just FYI. And your zipper's in there, so that's why. Okay, I'm getting to my side seams that I want to stay flat. And then you have your D-rings here, so just be aware of where your hardware is. I'm cringing because it makes me nervous. I've just gone over hardware once. Once is enough. And it was a terrible noise. It was on my fabricator, and it made me worried that I'd really thrown it into a tizzy as far as timing. But I didn't. All right, let's make sure we caught everything. Looks good, actually. Okay, let's turn it right side out. Pull your lining out. And pull your bag through your lining. Okay, so now we are going to do the same thing that we've done. So you see, I'm going to use my large clips to clip where my zipper is. So it stays down where I want it to on both sides. And we're going to do a top stitch. Huh? And then over here, we'll just use regular clips to hold it in place. Perfect. Oh, I need a red clip here. These red clips open wider. Perfect. All right, let's top stitch at 1/8 of an inch. Now this right here got a little off. So I think to fix that, I'm just gonna pull that up a little bit. Let me reach inside there. Yeah. There we go. So I didn't get as close to the zipper as I wanted. So when I do the top stitch, I'm fixing that by getting just a little closer, pulling up my outside. All right, so I'm going to start on the back here, over on the side, right on the end. I am going to pull those threads to the back. Keep your D-rings out of the way. It's pretty thick over the D-rings, so just go slow. Thor doesn't have a problem, bless his heart. These fabrics together, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna stop in that hole. Perfect. Okay, let's pull those to the back. What did I do with my stiletto? And when I say pull to the back, I'm just pulling them to the inside. And gonna tie them off in the inside. I'd rather have a little knot on the inside than the outside. Okay. Let's cut these even, so I'm not struggling with where's the ends. That's another little tidbit for the day. Cut your tie-off threads even, so you don't have to worry about, well, where's the other end? Perfect. All right, so the last step is, oh my gosh, guys, that is just perfect. Look at that. Is to put our zipper end on. I have it right here. And put it in a bowl because if I don't, I'll lose my screw. And I'm going to trim this off. It's a little bit long. I left it long on purpose. Now, I'm going to grab some of that Loctite that I just got and see how that works. Why not? Actually, you could use 3-in-1 glue. Maybe I'll just use the 3-in-1 glue. Yeah, let me just use some 3-in-1 glue. Just a little dab. Oh, that's way too much, Barn. Oh, please. I store that upside down, and I'm finding that that's not a great idea because it just oozes out the top. So I'll fix that. All right, let's put it in. There we go. And if you have glue, you can get that off. Don't worry too much about that. And if you feel like you need to get it in further, just use your stiletto. I think mine's in as far as it goes. Perfect. Let's get our little screwdriver. I think I need to charge my screwdriver. Perfect. Let's put this glue away. I'm gonna store it upright. Not a good idea. Let's grab our strap. Let me pull you up a bit. Hi guys. Attach our strap. I'm really into the 1.5-inch straps now. It's just more comfortable. It's not always necessary. Oh my gosh, guys. Look at this the Arsia Crossbody by Power Threads. Look at it. You have a big zipper pocket here, plenty big for this iPhone 14 Pro Max. You have a slip pocket here, which you could also put there. Inside, you have, oh, I gotta finish the inside. Hold. All right, let's open our zipper. Pull your zipper pocket out. Pull the lining out. I almost forgot to do that. Somebody was probably screaming on the video going, you almost forgot to close your bottom. Don't do it. So we just pull our bottom lining through our zipper pocket that we left open. We'll sew this together, then we'll close our zipper pocket. We can do that all over here on Thor, although he probably won't like the thin fabrics. We'll see. We'll see how he does. Not too bad so far. Perfect. Thank you, Thor. You didn't have any trouble with that. And it's 2 layers of thin waterproof canvas that have no interfacing. I moved this earlier and I don't like it. I'm moving it back. All right, let's push your lining back down and close your zipper pocket. And then we will be done. And I may just have my new purple bag. I have so many bags. Tony's gonna say you don't need another bag. All right, 1/8 of an inch closure seam. Hold your threads. Okay. Now we're done. Let's push it all in there, get it nice and flat. It's looking good. So on the lining on this side, you have a slip pocket behind the zipper, you have a coin purse, and then you have 8 credit card slots. On this side, you have a zipper pocket and 2 slip pockets. Lots and lots of pockets. And a top zipper closure. Oh my. There it is. Isn't, and look at that. This is the Sew Yours waterproof canvas. It's nice and thick, perfect for outside, exterior. Oh my gosh, you guys. I love it. All right, let's try it on. Let's see what we did. Oh my gosh. Look at it. It is really the perfect size for me. Just absolutely perfect. All right. So if you haven't made this and you haven't made a pattern by Cara Threads, I would highly encourage you to do so. She has great patterns, very good instructions, and every time I make one of her bags, I learn something new. So the Arsia, I think, is Crossbody bag by Cara Threads. Thanks for watching. Be sure to click like, subscribe, and comment. Bye-bye.